Let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at the journey of a single drop of water, from its raw source all the way to that perfectly packaged product you grab on the go. You know we see bottled water every single day, right? But how often do we actually stop to think about the crazy scale of engineering and the robotic precision it takes to get it into our hands? Well, today we're going to unpack that whole invisible world.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll check out the raw water origin. Second, we'll run the purification gauntlet. Third, forging the plastic vessels. Fourth, automated filling and sealing. And finally, quality control and shipping. Let's get to it.
Honestly, you have to think of this modern manufacturing facility less like a traditional factory and more like an automated robotic ballet. Literally, everything is flawlessly synced up. It operates at lightning speed with just absolute pinpoint precision. We're talking about a highly controlled environment where human hands almost never intervene.
All right, part one, the raw water origin. So before it even gets close to a modern purification plant, our water starts out pretty humbly. Whether it's drawn from deep inside a secluded natural spring or pumped from a high-volume municipal source, this raw liquid, it's really just the starting material. At this stage, it's full of untamed elements and completely unready for the bottle. It needs a massive transformation, and it needs it fast.
Which brings us to Section 2, the purification gauntlet. Now, this exact 5-step automated sequence is absolutely crucial. It's designed to systematically strip away all the impurities, bacteria, and viruses. First up, sediment filters trap the physical particles. Next, activated carbon swoops in to remove organic compounds and basically anything that might mess with the taste. After that, the water is forced through reverse osmosis membranes. This strips it down at a molecular level. We're talking about filtering out particles as tiny as a 10,000th of a micron. Insane, right? But wait, we're not done. The water then gets blasted with UV sterilization and finally injected with an ozone treatment. It is a completely unrelenting process just to guarantee absolute biological safety. But here's the thing. Even with all that crazy automation, human oversight is still absolutely essential. You've got workers in full safety gear inside the lab verifying the water's ultimate purity before it can move forward. They're constantly testing samples, basically making sure the robotic gauntlet did its job perfectly. It's this really cool seamless blend of high-tech sensors and actual human expertise.
Okay, so we've got perfect, pristine water just sitting there waiting in holding tanks. But to actually transport it, we need some armor, right? The water needs a vessel. And that brings us to a completely parallel manufacturing journey happening literally right next door.
Section 3. Forging the plastic vessels.
You've got to appreciate the stark visual contrast here. Look at these tiny test tube-looking things. They're called PET plastic preforms. I mean, they don't look anything like bottles at all, do they? But once they get inside these high-speed machines, the preforms are rapidly heated to over 100 degrees Celsius. Then, bam! They're blow-molded with highly pressurized air, expanding instantly like balloons into those familiar, transparent water bottles we all recognize. So now, these newly formed bottles are gliding down these smooth conveyors. But before they can take in even a single drop of our purified water, they have to go through one final, critical step. They get rinsed, inside and out, with sterile, purified water. At this point, the vessel is every bit as pristine as the liquid it's about to carry, and it's flying down the line at blistering speeds. We're talking tens of thousands of bottles per hour.
Moving on to Section 4, automated filling and sealing.
This is where the magic happens. The purified water and the sterile bottles are finally combined. And get this, there is zero human contact involved. In this totally clean, hygienic environment, automated filling nozzles drop down and inject the exact right volume of water into hundreds of bottles every single minute. It's blindingly fast, but still flawlessly precise, which pretty much eliminates any chance of contamination. And almost the exact second the water goes in, automatic capping machines snap on the plastic caps to lock in that purity. From there, they just zip straight down the conveyor over to the labeling machines, which rapidly slap on those vibrant, colorful brand labels around the plastic. In literally a matter of seconds, what used to be just a raw plastic preform and untreated water is suddenly a fully recognizable consumer product.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, quality control and shipping.
Listen to this. Not a single bottle makes it past this checkpoint unless it flawlessly meets 3 highly specific criteria. You've got these high-speed automated cameras and sensors flashing over every single unit on the line, processing dozens of images per second. What are they hunting for? Any bottle where the fill level is even a millimeter off, a cap that isn't perfectly sealed, or a label that's just slightly skewed.
If a bottle fails this microscopic inspection, it is instantly kicked right off the line. No exceptions.
But for the ones that do get approved, the rapid-fire packaging sequence kicks in, starting with heavy-duty shrink wrapping. The individual bottles are automatically grouped together, usually in packs of a dozen or more. Then they're pushed through a heat tunnel that tightly wraps them in clear plastic. So now those individual units are one solid, easy-to-carry pack.
Next up, those shrink-wrapped packs keep moving down the line and are swiftly loaded into these really sturdy cartons. This automated packing isn't just for looks, it adds a vital layer of structural integrity. It's perfectly engineered to protect the water during all the bumps and rough conditions of transit and distribution.
Then, these massive robotic arms swoop in to elegantly stack the finished cartons right onto shipping pallets. Honestly, it's like watching a mesmerizing mechanical ballet. All the heavy lifting is 100% automated, building these perfectly uniform towers of boxed water. Finally, the towers get wrapped super tight in heavy plastic to lock the whole pallet in place, securing it for the road.
So if we look at the timeline, we can summarize this entire lightning-fast odyssey. In just a few hours, we go all the way from raw source collection, straight through that brutal 5-step purification, into the bottling and robotic palletizing, and finally right out to the loading docks. That's where the forklifts take over, loading these massive pallets onto outbound delivery trucks and sending them out of the factory and into the world.
The way fluid dynamics, high-speed robotics, and rigorous quality control all collide here is nothing short of an industrial marvel. So I have to ask, the next time you twist off a cap and hear that satisfying little crack, will you take a second to picture the invisible robotic ballet that brought it to you?